Rocky Johnson was a pioneering professional wrestler, best known for his charismatic presence in the ring and his role in breaking down racial barriers in the sport. He is also the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But, unfortunately, his life was tragically cut short when he died at home from a terrible illness. He will forever remain in our hearts. Rocky Johnson. Born Wade Douglas Balls on August 24, 1944, in Amherst, Nova Scotia, Canada, was more than just a professional wrestler. He was a pioneer who broke barriers and blazed trails in a sport that was often unwelcoming to change. His career, spanning from the 1960s to the 1980s, was marked by a unique blend of charisma, athleticism, and an unwavering determination to make his mark in the world of professional wrestling. Johnson's journey into wrestling began in the mid-1960s, where he quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with. Wrestling in Canada and various territories across the United States, Johnson was initially known as Sweet Ebony Diamond. He captivated audiences with his powerful physique and agility, a combination that was rare for wrestlers at the time. His early years were spent honing his craft in regional promotions, where he battled some of the biggest names in wrestling, earning respect and admiration from fans and peers alike. The 1970s saw Johnson's star rise even further as he became a major player in the National Wrestling Alliance. His matches against legends like Jerry Lawler and Harley Race were not just contests of strength and skill, but showcases of his ability to connect with audiences. Johnson's in-ring style was electrifying. He was a master of both technical wrestling and showmanship, making him a favorite wherever he competed. However, it was in the early 1980s that Rocky Johnson truly made history. When he joined the World Wrestling Federation, he found himself on the brink of greatness. Teaming up with Tony Atlas, Johnson formed the Soul Patrol, a tag team that would go on to make history. In 1983, they became the first black tag team to win the WWF World Tag Team Championship, defeating the Wild Samoans. This victory was more than just a title win. It was a groundbreaking moment that shattered racial barriers in a predominantly white sport. Johnson's success with Atlas was a beacon of progress, and their triumph remains a significant milestone in wrestling history. Beyond the titles and the accolades, Johnson's influence extended into the next generation. He was the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, one of the most iconic figures in entertainment today. Rocky's teachings and legacy deeply impacted his son, who has often spoken about the profound influence his father had on his life and career. As Rocky Johnson's active wrestling career wound down in the late 1980s, his legacy was already cemented. He had not only been a champion in the ring, but also a mentor to many, including his son. His contributions were formally recognized in 2008 when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, a fitting tribute to a man who had given so much to the sport. Rocky Johnson passed away on January 15, 2020, at the age of 75. His death marked the end of an era in professional wrestling, and it was met with an outpouring of tributes and memories from fans and fellow wrestlers alike. In the days following his passing, it was revealed that Johnson had been dealing with various health issues, including a lingering cold and the flu. According to his son Dwayne, Rocky had been feeling unwell for several weeks, but had refused to see a doctor, as he believed he could recover on his own. However, his condition worsened, and it was later discovered that he had developed a blood clot in his leg. The clot eventually led to a fatal pulmonary embolism, which caused his death. A pulmonary embolism occurs when a blood clot breaks loose and travels to the lungs, blocking a major artery and leading to sudden death. The news of Rocky Johnson's death shocked the wrestling community and the world at large. He was remembered not only for his pioneering role in professional wrestling, but also for his larger-than-life personality and the impact he had on those around him. Tributes poured in from across the globe, with many recalling his groundbreaking achievements and the barriers he broke as one of the first black champions in the World Wrestling Federation. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson paid an emotional tribute to his father on social media, reflecting on the life lessons Rocky had imparted to him and the profound influence he had on his career. In his tribute, Dwayne described his father's death as a tough one and expressed deep gratitude for the love and support shown by fans and friends during that difficult time. He shared memories of their relationship, highlighting the complexities of their bond, but also the deep love and respect they had for each other. Rocky Johnson's death was a significant loss to the world of professional wrestling, but his legacy continues to live on through the many lives he touched. His pioneering spirit, his contributions to breaking racial barriers in the industry, and his role in shaping the career of one of the biggest stars in entertainment today ensure that his memory will not soon be forgotten. On January 21, 2020, Rocky Johnson was laid to rest in a private funeral attended by close family and friends. The ceremony was a celebration of his life, with Dwayne Johnson delivering a heartfelt eulogy that captured the essence of who his father was: a fighter, a trailblazer, and a man who lived life on his own terms. Though Rocky is no longer with us, his influence remains a lasting testament to a life lived with passion, determination, and an unbreakable will. Rocky Johnson's life and career were filled with remarkable achievements and challenges, but like many public figures, his journey was not without its controversies and scandals. There were reports of friction between Johnson and the higher-ups at WWE, particularly Vince McMahon. Johnson was known for his strong opinions and was not shy about expressing them, which sometimes put him at odds with management. This tension reportedly contributed to his departure from WWE in 1985, when his contract was not renewed, although the official reason was never fully disclosed. Rumors swirled that his outspoken nature and clashes with management played a role in his exit. This controversy left many fans wondering what could have been if Rocky had remained in WWE during the company's boom in the late 1980s. Rocky Johnson's personal life was as complex as his professional one. He was married 3 times and had a somewhat tumultuous family life, particularly in his later years. His first marriage was to Una Sparks, with whom he had 2 children. However, while still married to Una, Johnson met Atta Maivia, the daughter of wrestling legend Peter Maivia, and they began a relationship. Johnson eventually divorced Una and married Atta, but the circumstances surrounding their relationship caused strain within his family and the wrestling community. Rocky's marriage to Atta produced their famous son, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Despite the success of their son, Rocky and Atta's marriage ended in divorce. The split was reportedly amicable, but it added to the narrative of Rocky's complicated personal life. Rocky later married Sheila Northern in 2004, but details about their relationship were kept relatively private. Despite his success in wrestling, Rocky Johnson faced financial difficulties later in life. There were reports of him struggling with money, leading to legal battles over unpaid debts. In one notable case, Rocky was sued by a former associate who claimed that Johnson had failed to pay him for services rendered. The lawsuit was settled out of court, but it highlighted the financial challenges that Rocky faced after retiring from wrestling. One of the more serious scandals involving Rocky Johnson came to light after his death, when allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced. Several women came forward, accusing Johnson of inappropriate behavior during his wrestling career. These allegations were never proven in court, and Johnson had passed away by the time they became public, so he never had the opportunity to respond to them. However, the claims cast a shadow over his legacy and sparked discussions about the culture within the wrestling industry during his time. Though Rocky Johnson and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shared a close bond, their relationship was not without its difficulties. Rocky was known to have been a strict father, pushing Dwayne hard, especially during his early wrestling career. Dwayne has spoken in interviews about how his father's tough love and high expectations shaped him, but also about the strain it put on their relationship. At times, this relationship was contentious, with Dwayne feeling the pressure of living up to his father's legacy, while also forging his own path. Despite these controversies, Rocky Johnson remains a significant figure in wrestling history. His legacy is complex, marked by both groundbreaking achievements and personal challenges.